be so bold as to say, how good does Beck Madden look? This is a very big show for us, Beck. Tell us what these magnificent people can expect.
Well, the reigning premiers have been under a little bit of pressure, so we're going to have Jordan Lewis on live tonight to tell us when the Hawks will be up the top.
Oh, now it's a big show. And that means that the big man comes to play. Sam Newman behind the microphone tonight on the Footy Show.
Of course, we'll be reviewing all the big games as well as this blockbuster on Friday night. It is the Swans up against the Roos.
Street talk coming up by invitation. The old enforcers headed up to Bendigo. This one needs to be seen to be believed.
And all the starters are in the gates for the Footy Show Stakes. Another instalment coming your way tonight.
All right, everyone in here and, of course, the millions watching at home in for a massive treat because the famous Collingwood Rat Pack of 2010 has been reassembled for one night only. I want you to put your hands together as they come out en masse. Dane Swan, Heath Shaw and Daisy Thomas.
Not part of the Rat Pack, but he is the unofficial Mayor of Geelong. Please welcome tonight, Billy Brownless.
Oh, no.
Any chance I get the memo?
No.
Look at me.
You dusted one of your own off from days gone by, Bill.
I got it, no. Sam wore this at his first wedding, and his second, and his third.
Hey, Bill, fair to say, earlier on, these three swaggered in like they'd just come off the red carpet at the Cannes Film Festival.
No, Jim. Like they just robbed a bank. They had balaclavas, they had overcoats, they had guns. Mate, you should have seen what they've been talking about out there.
Well, we can't wait to get to these three, but before we do, the main man needs introducing. 303 games for Geelong, plenty for Victoria as well. Put your hands together for the one and only John Sammy Newman.
I don't care what they say, Beck, you look fantastic.
Oh, I'll take that.
You can write in and say I'm lecherous or whatever, I don't worry me. Now, I saw all the promos about the Rat Pack and me singing, and I went to bed last night and I thought to myself,
yes,
I'm not going to sing. I actually am not going to do it.
You're not going to sing?
I'm not going to sing.
He's not going to sing! That is a massive relief.
But I woke up this morning and I thought, bugger it, I will. Beck, if you can drive the ratings up to an all-time high, I mean, how have we lasted for 22 years until you came along?
Yeah, that's it.
If you can drive them up, I can drive them down. So I'll be doing it.
I challenge you to that.
I'll be, and that's it.
You've got your own little stage over there.
But don't worry, we'll give you plenty of notice when I'm going to, and you can go to the lav or do something when the time comes. You can vacate the living room or the lounge, and I'll do it. It'll be good. Don't worry about that.
Now, Force, by way of explanation, this is the 2010 Collingwood Rat Pack, but there'll be lots of people wondering where the Rat Pack whole thing started. And you can tell us.
Yeah, well, I can. I was over there when it started.
Yes.
No, Humphrey Bogart actually started the first original, that's a double entendre,
Yes,
that is redundant, one of those words.
Yep.
The original Rat Pack. And the Rat Pack, of course, was made up of Joey Bishop, Peter Lawford, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. And they used to swagger through Vegas, just
Say what?
knocking them down and ripping the living suitcase out of anyone that stood erect and could breathe. And they used to do an impromptu floor show every night at the Sands and the MGM Grand and all that sort of stuff. And we'll be replicating it tonight.
Very good.
We'll be just as good. Don't worry about that.
Well, we do.
Beck, will you be over there doing it with us?
I might be front row. You behave yourself throughout the night.
No rules, anything goes.
You mentioned the old Rat Pack, but we do have the new Rat Pack with us tonight. Boys, so great to see you. You sort of look like Wakers, all part of the Rat Pack, I'm not quite sure. Hey, I wanted to ask you, you part of the Rat Pack, but I wanted to know how, Daisy, you're actually in this Rat Pack, because Heath and Swanee, is he an original member or not?
He started as a mouse.
Not a rat.
Honorary member.
Not a rat. You're not a Rat Pack
I think
member.
I'm the only one from that 2010 grand final in the Rat Pack that doesn't have a criminal conviction. So I think that's why I missed out on that photo there. It's actually truthful.
Well, speaking of 2010, we are going to get to the bottom of all of your behaviour over the journey, but it was a very special time for the Collingwood Footy Club. A flag, of course, that you're all able to play in. And some amazing scenes here of the three of you as teammates, and must have been a great time.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Can you remember?
I'm trying to reminisce now because I don't remember much of this. No, it was a great day, and obviously to share it with some close mates, even though Daisy wasn't really a close mate at that time, it was really good feeling.
Well, Heater, I don't know how much of the footy show you were able to watch around about that time, but of course you landed yourself in a little bit of trouble, and so did your great mate Alan Didak. And normally with that sort of stuff, what we did at the end of the year with the grand final footy shows, whip it into a parody. I don't know if you ever caught up with some of our sharpest stuff. Have a look. You ever get to see that?
No, I didn't get to see that, but me and Diz were dressed pretty similar to that night. So, it brought back a couple of memories.
Got an interesting rap sheet, haven't you? Peter?
Yeah, I like to spread myself out a bit. There was a bit of drink driving. Yeah, that was one. Gambling.
Right.
Got into a couple of little scuffles that no one knows about until now. So, yeah, I just like to sort of spread myself out.
What about Swanee? You got some favourite stories? You would have had some great times together. Some favourite stories you can tell us on air about Swanee?
I had to think long and hard about the PG stories with Swanee. So the most memorable one was, I think it was after a reasonably solid night out and about. Swanee came to training, and we had this thing where you draw a couple of names out of the hat and you jump in the ring and they sort of fight each other. And Swanee was a bit dusty, and unfortunately his name got drawn out of the hat. I think he come in to throw his first punch.
There was 22 names in that, and 22 of them were mine. 21. So
he went to throw a punch, and it was definitely a fresh area. He nearly fell on his ass. So, him stumbling around the ring for a couple of minutes was pretty entertaining.
yeah, no, it was awesome. Yeah, that was good. And I think I missed the next couple of weeks, so so that was fun. Yeah, no, good story here.
What about the great president? The three of you at some stage, I'm sure, would have either received a text or a call from Ed, just come to Jesus. How did they go?
I think we've all probably had our turn. Ed is fantastic, but you do not want to be on the wrong side of him at the time. So, you know when you're in trouble when you call me ASAP, Ed, maybe with an expletive or two in there. You know you've done wrong. So every time I got a message like that, or Purdy's office or Walsh's office, 8:30 tomorrow morning, I knew it wasn't going to be a pleasant meeting. So I dreaded looking at those texts, but I haven't had one for a while, which is exciting. But it is kind of weird that every time I get one of those messages, I think to myself, geez, what have I been caught doing now? But Ed is probably one of the all-time best sprays, but in saying that, it does come from a good place, and once it gets out of his system, he's there to help you.
Well, I wonder if one followed this, because you're actually innocent, the two of you, of most of what was alleged. This is you and Daisy, of course, up in Sydney. Collingwood stars Dane Swan and Dale Thomas walk into a crime scene at a Sydney hotel. The bit that interested us, though, Swanee, was that it went on to say Dane Swan, Brownlow medalist, seen walking toward the hotel using an orange traffic cone as a megaphone.
Swanee?
Just like all my previous incidents, it wasn't me. I was wrongly accused, and it was actually that was actually Dale. So how they got us mixed up, it's got me buggered. But that's the kind of unlucky timing that we've had.
Really?
We're at yes. Or everything's been unlucky. Nothing's ever been my fault, James. We're actually down at the Bondi RSL or something like that, and we'd obviously had a few and walked home. And there was a little bit of carry-on going on, and we turned up the corner, and the hotel was saying it had been robbed. So there was photographers and policemen out all the time. Being Sydney, we didn't think we'd get recognised, but
only the biggest paparazzi city in
you could hear someone
Australia.
coming from a kilometre away. So yeah, we got done, and that was just another one out of the collection.
Yeah, and the Mad Mondays days. I used to love the Mad Mondays, like we all did, of course. Here's some photos here. The Stig, there's Heater. Dids in the middle there. I don't know what you're dressed in. What's going on here, Daisy?
Yeah, that was a stitch up, that one.
Oh, yeah.
No, we did the right thing, as teams do these days, and let the media come in for our Mad Monday, and then they put they actually had a bit of a dig at me for, I think it was referenced as a crude beer swilling device that I was drinking out of. So
it was a beer bong, and Adrian Anderson called it a what?
A crude beer swilling device. So just a couple of sherbets down the funnel is how it's described these days.
Well, it's a great pleasure to have the three of you. It's actually taken us a long time, Heater, to get the three of you assembled, hasn't it? We've been trying for a while, and getting you down to Melbourne's been hard, obviously, because you're dominating for GWS. But it's nice of you to come.
We paid for his flight. We've been paying for him, so.
If you come out on the weekend, we're usually at a pub like this together, but no, come down and obviously spend a bit of time with the boys on the show and the Rat Pack and all that stuff. Tell a couple of stories it's always good.
So it wasn't just the three of you, and as you say, Daisy was a late entrant, but there was Taz, Alan Didak, Jono, who...
Benny Johnson.
Yeah,
I think my brother was in there a little bit.
yeah, Reece, and then a couple of the old guys like Andrew Dimatina, Benny Kinnear and stuff like that. When I first started it, they showed me the ropes, and it's pretty obvious to see why I didn't get a kick my first 4 years till I followed them around. So,
And you have a few bets amongst each other, I would assume?
No, I don't bet.
Peter? Well, you've been done for it, so...
Yeah, so I've gone off the punt.
What about bottles of wine or anything like that, Heater?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I couldn't tell
Did you get
Joe,
some?
look, Heath was pretty happy that the Pies weren't going that great the other week, so when we had the chance to knock them off, and he may have wagered a bottle of Grange with me to just a bit of incentive.
Oh, for Carlton to beat
Which
Collingwood.
isn't, when you think about it, actually isn't a bet. That's just saying, well, let's see how things go.
I think, well, it hasn't come yet, so I think it was just tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
I got him a bottle of passion pop instead.
We have had our... And Sam, truth is the defence when we say that Beck's looking magnificent. But have a look at this, because this is a photo shoot we did not too long ago.
So embarrassing.
And there she is Marilyn Monroe. These photos haven't been released, so this is a bit of a pre-look.
Sam.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
They look fantastic, those photos, Beck.
Anyway, the things you do for the footy show.
We went up and saw, up to Bendigo, they've got the Marilyn Monroe exhibition up there in the museum.
Invited you up there
And,
personally?
Personally, we were invited up to do street talk before anyone writes in and says, why were we up there?
Yes.
And they have a huge statue of Marilyn.
It's huge, isn't it?
It is 40 feet high.
you knew her, Sam, didn't you?
What?
Did you know it? She was about your era.
I only met her once briefly in 1962. She died later that year, but I managed to... was in a company. We had a
must have
photo of
been
me. I went and bought a car with her. I don't know where that photo is, but I had a photo of myself and Marilyn.
Did you really?
Yeah. Where have we got that, Rob? We haven't
It's
got
on the
that.
wall outside.
All right.
We'll go and grab it.
So we went up there, and to see the statue was fantastic. And I know this sounds like salacious, but how they got it out here, you had to unscrew all of her to get it into cartons and fly it out there. It was huge. It was 40 feet high.
Well, that is going to be our street talk a little bit later on. But, boys, we are going to talk to you, not just about the Rat Pack tonight, some in-depth footy questions. But before we get to all of that, Heath, I've got to say and congratulate you on your little record on the weekend. 36 kicks.
What about that?
And that means 100% disposal efficiency. How on earth did you do that?
Well, no one come near me for most of the game, so it's pretty easy. I was just sitting back inside defensive 50, and they just kept on kicking it to me. So Yeah.
He's got 36 kicks.
36 kicks.
Record.
That is... That's bullshit.
I wore my boot out. How did I kick it?
Drive the ball out into attack? That is extraordinary.
It wasn't a bad effort, yeah.
How did you do that?
Yeah, have a look, Sam. This is how he did it. Look. Kick it into himself. That's 2 there.
No,
Look at this. Another one. There's 3. Look at that. He pretends he's going to
3.
kick it and then goes, no, I'll have another one to myself. There's 4, Foss. And another one kicking into himself. There's 6.
So they counted as kicks?
Yeah.
Oh, that is...
Got him the
Turn
record.
it up.
Yep.
Hey,
There was no other option.
mate, come on.
No other options.
Apologise to people. People will look back next year and they say, Heath Shaw got 38 kicks in the game. That is, mate, that is ridiculous. Now, why would you count that as a stat?
Well, there we are. This is what you compiled pre-show. Claimed kicks, actual kicks. There's the discrepancy.
See, that's stats. There's stats, and then there's damn lies. No, that is ridiculous. I mean, well done, mate. Why wouldn't anyone come and see that you were doing after the 35th time? Why wouldn't someone from the opposition come down and grab you?
I've got no idea, but obviously football's all about Supercoach these days, so whoever had me in their team had a good weekend. I scored a couple of 100 points for them, but obviously kicking's a pretty hard task to do and art to find, and my mate to the side
Daisy.
there,
You got your phone
someone's
on.
got their phone on.
Yeah. Look at this, Daisy. What's going on here, Daisy?
Daisy's performance earlier in the year, or last year, whatever it was.
Daisy.
Yeah, that wasn't great.
He needs some help, so Daisy, you know where I live in Sydney, so...
Go to myself out of full back might be a better option for me too then, Jim.
Right, Willis, take this very seriously, please.
No, it is Sydney taking on North Friday night. Sydney 4-7-2. And North Melbourne having off the game, Jimmy boy, and arch you up and about. And the Sydney side, Marsh comes in. Teddy Richards is out. That is a big out because of the big tall forwards there in North Melbourne. And let's have a look at North Melbourne side, who are going beautifully. And Daniel Wells comes in and Sammy Wright is in. Farron Ray out and Mullet out. Big game this. I'd like to see the odds here. North Melbourne sit top of the ladder. 9 and zip, and I reckon you get $3, the Kangaroos, which is unbelievable. So, here we go, $2.95. I know you're not happy with that, Jim and Scotty. You get together and you're not happy because you think you should be favourites.
That's wrong.
Having said all that, great midfield battle here, boys. You can talk all about that because there's some very good players. Actually, if you know any of them. But I'll tell you, I'm going with Sydney just at the SCG. Daisy?
Yeah, I got to watch the ruck dominance last week of Big Goldstein, so I think at the SCG, get it out of the middle, get it inside 50 and lock it in. I think the Roos will be too good. They're big boys and marching down. So fingers for me.
Yeah, I just want to shout out to Jeff Walsh, who probably, after handling the drink driving incident you boys had to deal with Heath with his drink driving thing, so I thought he handled that pretty well during the week. He had some practice with Heath, and as for who wins, Sydney.
Sydney.
Yeah.
Peter?
Yeah, obviously Sydney's midfield is unbelievable. Their contested footy's #1, as I'm reading here, and I think they'll read Goldstein's taps and they'll win it. Yeah.
Daniel?
I've got no figures at all and not reading anything because I have no idea about stats and everything. After that effort there, 36 kicks to yourself, what do stats mean? But Jim,
yes.
It's extraordinary that you've won 9 games. It's just a tremendous effort, but
What's coming? That there was a but as soon as that
But I think the bubble will burst. And it'll be only do you good.
Really?
It'll only do.
Really?
Why would you want to win 10 straight
No, you
and
don't.
go into the next...
You don't.
Right, shut up. And no, I think the Swans will win, but who am I? Beck?
North has only faced 2 of the top 8 sides to date. I think Sydney will win, but I agree with you, Sam, that I think they'll be better for it. It'll harden them up because they've got a very hard couple of weeks coming up. So I think a loss will do you good, Jim. if
Very
you can
nice
do it like
to have
that.
Daniel Wells back in. Very nice to have Sam Wright back in. They have two very important players for the Kangaroos. And congratulations to Harry Marsh if he comes in. Rookie draftee from the recent 2016 draft. They're getting young players in, Bill, which is very good when you're playing good footy.
Well, he's in. Obviously, they need someone tall down back there to take those big forwards. They've kicked how many goals? 57 goals between them, those forwards.
Good effort.
Swanee, do you know that?
Yes, I did. I was about to say it, but it's a great effort.
All right, we're going to have much more of the Rat Pack and the Footy Show. Stay tuned after this.
Tonight on the Footy Show, the postie's blown his whistle and the mailbag is in. As usual, Sammy won't be holding back. Can Hawthorn bounce back? We cross live to Jordan Lewis for some serious Hawk talk. You wanted it, you got it. Street Talk by Invitation is back.
Oh, just a little sharp one just to finish off with.
In the Footy Show Stakes, all the big characters of the week will go riding on the horses. Yeah. And tonight, one show only. Prepare to be serenaded Vegas style by Footy Show's very own Sammy Davis Newman. Here's the memo, Cocko. Prepared to be bowled over. Tonight on the Footy Show.
The Footy Show Stakes.
Almost ready to jump. Just waiting on Josh Kennedy to hop in the stirrups, leaving his partner also up in stirrups. Racing, Joel Selwood out first with Levi Greenwood in close check, well ahead of Job Watson on Mr. Barista. There's Nick Kyrgios on I'm only shouting because the crowd is loud. No, really. And folks, after a surprising run of wins, it's the Collingwood Party Bus, followed by a fleet of Collingwood Party Buses. These boys are really riding high. Oh, apart from the cloak horse that's having a spell. And just to rub it in, there's Mason Cox on Bigger Than Texas. Final turn, it looks like Mark Murphy in a helmet, followed by Trent Cotchin in another helmet, and Shane Ward in a gift basket. Just another quiet night in. Oh, what's this? A hot air balloon is descending onto the track. Oh, not to worry, they've broken out the emergency Tony Cochran, and his ranting will easily keep it afloat. 100 to go. It's Kyrgios. It's Heath Shaw on kicking ass. It's Swanee on kicking back. But somehow, it's the umpires on we win because we make the rules up every week. And ain't that the truth? Struth.
Weekly dose of the Footy Show Stakes. It's only appropriate there'd be 4 Collingwood Party Buses this week. Now, don't go anywhere because Hawthorn champion Jordan Lewis is joining us very, very shortly. But now it is time for Sam's mailbag.
Incidentally, we'll do it like one of the more ludicrous articles in the paper, the Herald Sun, this week about the umpires. If you want to have a counterproductive story about what they're on about, and this is not a critique of the umpires, read that about the umpires.
Right.
What in the hell is going on? Why would they do an article like that?
Sure, I don't even know what the article was about.
Well, it was about how the umpires go about umpiring a game of football. That is about as counterproductive as you can get. That is leading from behind, the Herald Sun. That is nonsense. And this is not a criticism of the umpires. They want to fly under the radar and they want to be not noticed, and that is absolute crap, that.
Righto, the old mailbag.
Probably won't read it then.
Trying to create a 19th side.
Right.
Okay. Sam's
From
mailbag.
Tucker of Burnley. Sam, are you annoyed Kevin Bartlett has a statue of you? He doesn't have one of me. Has a statue and you don't. No, I'm not annoyed about that. But Bill has one, and it's in Helsinki, of all places.
Oh, Bill.
Yes. Back when you were skinnier, fat.
Yeah, skinnier fat.
Skinnier
Helsinki being the capital of.
Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
Finland, you idiot.
Yeah, well, close. It could be either Denmark, Sweden or Norway. And I know you make fun of Jim Swagger, says Tucker. My word, we do. And right, look at that.
Strut.
Yeah, metrosexual, just swaggering out there with the open neck trousers. But you're a real flog, says Tucker. The first and last time I saw you sing was 1996.
That's
you
it.
were introduced Shut
I
up.
love this.
You were introduced by a real singer, Frank Bennett,
Yes.
and you strutted onto the stage like you were Frank Sinatra, the Beatles, and the three tenors rolled into one. That is absolute bullshit, Tucker. That is nonsense.
What that is absolutely correct. Have a look.
Ladies and gentlemen, the star of the show, Mr. Sam Newman.
Tucker, I'll take that under advisement. That's
You had a fair head of steam up there.
Oh, nice suit.
Stupid did that look. From Dr. Daniel Lithgow of Orbost. Dr. Daniel Lithgow of Orbost. John, did you visit the butterfly enclosure at the zoo again this week to, quote, extricate yourself from the madding crowd? Now, we had plenty of letters about me saying that's not correct. It's the maddening crowd, you imbeciles who wrote in. It is far from the madding crowd. Madding means insane. That's the name of the book.
Yes.
And enjoy, that was me. And were you there? And enjoy the comfort and solitude of those, quote, harlequin beauties of nature. You would be better suited to the elephant enclosure, both of you being so full of shit, says Dr. Daniel Lithgow.
Not bad, Doc.
I have taken the liberty of sending you a book. He has sent me a book. Sent me a book. Hold up the butterfly book, it says. To help you understand the class of insects in the order Lepidopteria. I presume that's the study of butterflies. Yes. Their life cycle and practices. This is the volume I prefer. This is 50 Shades of the grey monarch butterfly, and I just
a little reading.
open it at random where that bookmark is. And so this is it. This is about butterflies. He rubbed his pulsating antennae against my wanting thorax. My legs began to stiffen, all 6 of them. The courtship cycle began. The male needs to release his pheromones onto a nearby stamen. The female needs 6 Jager bombs. I want him to speak to me. He refuses. I forgot he was a butterfly. I wanted him to spank me, not speak to me. And
There might have been Jaeger bombs too before, but anyway.
what did I say? What are Jaeger bombs? Hey, what are Jaeger bombs?
That's the Rat Pack.
I was going to say Jagger bombs.
Yes.
I want him to spank me. He refuses. I forgot he was a butterfly and has no hands. It was time to repollinate. Her adrenal sacs were ready, and the pupae. Papa, what does that mean? That's the offspring of butterflies. What is that word? Pupae.
Yes.
Right, I'll just stay with me. It was time to repollinate. Her adrenal sacs were ready and bulging.
Yes.
And the pupae were upstairs in bed. That's the kids were up in bed. Forget about the rules, to quote Beck Madden. Tonight, your abdomen was his. That's from
there we are.
That's from 50 Shades of the Grey Monarch Butterfly.
Nice.
Yes. I had not understood not one word of that. This is from Ike of Bensdale. Sam, is it just me, or do you seem overly flirty with Rebecca at the moment? Well, hang on a minute. It was a bit creepy last week, you asking her if, hypothetically, she would marry you. I don't think I said that. I said, would you go out with me, I think.
If you were a different person, and I said
yeah,
yes.
and you weren't married.
Yes.
Even if you are married, would you go out with me? Poor Jim, having to put up with all this. He must feel like must feel like a dog in this picture. What? The dog. This is that's you. Look at that. That's me and Beck in the background, and that's
is that what it is?
Beck and I.
Hypothetical.
You're explaining the picture, are you?
I think that's me and Beck, actually, Bill.
I think it's
I don't
Beck
think
and
it's
I.
No, it's not I. It's Beck with me. Anyway.
Anyway,
Anyway.
it's Beck with me, even.
Yeah.
It did make me laugh that someone has a drinking game going on every time Beck raises her eyebrows.
Yes, they do.
Is this her as a bub?
Yes.
How did the... How did the viewers go with the drinking game last week based on Beck's predictions? Well, let's have a look. This is number one. This is the first one. This is when Beck tipped the Saints.
No.
When she tipped North, this was the... and when Beck tipped Richmond, when she tipped Richmond, this was them all getting hammered. Is that it? Hang on. No, I have to say this because this is... We don't condone excessive drinking unless it gives us footage like this.
That's it.
Yep. I think that is it.
Which reminded us of?
Right, there's some more of that. Let's have a look. Which reminded us of this.
Look at this. Wait for it. He gets banged. Oh! Locked him out. Picked him up.
Check out box 9 Melbourne Victoria 2001, sam.marvagan9.com.au, 9now.com.au /AFL Footy Show.
Would it be possible
Yep.
to stuff that up any
To
better?
slaughter a segment any
Not one
more
of
than
those did I read out properly. That's because we took it out of order. I was getting
we did.
prepared for that.
I
We
think
were-
the singing's got you, Ashley. I think you're so
Got him a bit
worried about
rattled.
that.
Well, I do it now and get that.
No.
All right.
No.
Beck's
We'll
got
leave it.
him
All right,
rattled.
let's get to some footy. We'll give you some time to
Sorry
prepare
about
and
that.
do your warming up, Sam. It is Collingwood and the Doggies at the MCG. These are on the squads, obviously, because it's a Sunday game. At the moment, in comes Witts, Marsh and Sinclair. The last time the Pies played the Dogs at the MCG was back in round 6, 2011, so not a lot of experience for the Pies and the Doggies together at the MCG. Let's take a look at the Dogs. Out goes Collins, Stevens and Young. And in comes Matthew Boyd, Matt Suckling and big Will Minson might be getting a game on the weekend. Interesting to see Will Minson named there. Collingwood obviously coming off a win against the Cats. The Bulldogs coming off a loss against the Giants. Bill, how do you see this one playing out?
Oh, at the MCG, I'm heading towards Collingwood. They were very, very good last week. And when Treloar, Pendlebury and Sidebottom are playing well, so are Collingwood. Your favourite side, Days?
Yeah, I'll be going for the Bulldogs.
Well, I'm going for Collingwood. Absolutely.
Obviously played against the Bulldogs last week and gave them a bit of up, so they might rebound against the Pies this week.
Well, I tipped Collingwood to beat Geelong last week.
I
Beck.
know, I was
Yeah.
thinking of you through the entire game. You
appreciate
lost it for us.
Appreciate it. It makes
You
me
did,
feel
you
good
put the
you're
moz
thinking
on
of
us,
me.
I thought of you.
I think the Western Bulldogs will beat Collingwood this week.
Doggies for me too.
All right, our great friends at Sportsbet, of course, have got something very nice for everyone to get stuck into. Sunday afternoon's Pies Dogs clash. If you place a bet on the first goal scorer market with Sportsbet and your bet loses, but your player kicks the first goal of any other quarter, they'll give you cash back up to $50. That's the real folding stuff, Willis. Back into your Sportsbet account to get involved. Download the app today and please always remember to gamble responsibly.
Now, boys, serious question for you. Damien Barrett, our best newsbreaker in the business, was on the show a couple of weeks ago. He had all of you in a group as part of a group that was active in wanting to keep Mick Malthouse at Collingwood and not know about the succession plan. Heath, I'll ask you first of all, is that true? And how active were you in wanting to keep that, not want a bar of the succession plan?
That was the petition, apparently, that we wrote and signed to keep Mick on instead of Bucks.
Well, there was talk of a petition, but before that, were you active in wanting to keep him at the club?
I'm not quite sure.
You weren't there?
No, I was just worried about this petition because, like, We wouldn't even know what petition meant, so I don't know how
I had to look it up last week.
Don't worry about the petition side of things. Just in terms of, were you active in wanting to keep him at the club?
Oh, active means you want to do something about it. I don't think we did anything about it.
You just...
We like Mick.
You didn't talk about it? You didn't have a meeting about it?
You would like to.
We don't like meetings, so we're not going to have another meeting on top of all the ones we've
OK,
had.
so you're at the pub and you're having a few beers.
Yeah.
Did you discuss it?
In between races.
You would have liked him to stay on.
Why don't you ask these two? Oh,
Yeah, OK, Daisy, I'll flick it over to you.
Daisy.
Yeah, he started it all. As far as locker room chat, there might have been some, but I think it was pretty well, obviously documented that once that season was done, Mick was going to go and Bucks was going to be the coach. So there's no use sort of starting a petition, or there was nothing about that, I didn't think.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Swanee, you got anything to add to that?
Yeah, well, I wasn't a part of it. I didn't know anything about it. So. But honestly, like Tomo said, everyone had their own particular opinion, and
What was yours?
well, I knew it was coming, so it didn't bother me. Like,
We were
it is
trying
what
to
it
win a
is.
flag
So,
at the end of 20 minutes, so.
but it was 6 years ago, so who cares? And really, everyone look at Bucks' way we're going now. So, well, it's just an old story to grab a couple of headlines.
Yeah,
and
we're
that's what
trying
it
to get
did,
one
but-
here.
Yeah, we're trying to get another one, so
We're
keep talking.
trying to divide the club
headline that
right
we're really
now.
happy with Bucks, and we love the way he's going. So we use that as your headline tomorrow.
We're really happy with Bucks at GWS too.
Whilst we are talking to you, Dane, we had you on about 4 or 5 weeks ago and asked you about your future, whether you thought you were going to play on into 2017. You said, I better just give it a little bit more time before I work it out. Well, we've given you a little bit more time. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to need a little bit more time. Well, you know, like I said, I hope I haven't played my last game of AFL. You know, I'd love to come back and play in some form, whether it's this year or next year, but I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I know that the injury I've had is pretty serious, so I've got a bit of work to do. Obviously, I'm off crutches, as you've seen, but hopefully get out of this moon boot in the next week or two and start walking around. Then it's just the natural progression of walking, then running, or jogging, then running. But in saying that, I'm not going to risk ruining my foot for the rest of my life to try and come back and play a season or two of footy. So there's a lot of things that have to go right. If it shows that it's right, and I think I can contribute next year, and the footy club are happy to have me, which, you know, we've had some talks and they've all been pretty positive so far, which is great. So hopefully I can get back, but in saying I'm not going to jeopardise having the rest of my life to get out to 20, 30 games of footy.
The extended question beyond that is Travis Cloke. Do you believe he'll be at Collingwood next
I think
year?
his foot's pretty good, actually. He's all right. He hasn't got a problem with his foot. Will I think he'll be there? Well, he's contracted, so I guess so. I think I haven't been around a great deal, so I must admit I get in and out and do my thing. So I haven't seen him a great deal, or anyone else at the footy club for that matter. But from what I hear, that he's really keen to get back in the side, and I think without him we're not as good, we're worse off, because I think when he's up and about, he's probably one of the most dominant forwards in the game. So we certainly need him back at his best, but the footy club have shown that he's not going to walk back into the side, so he needs to prove to the footy club that, you know, whatever the KPIs are, that he needs to get back, and once he gets back, I'm sure he'll be great. So honestly, I think he'll be at the footy club next year, but there's a long way to go, and who knows, but I think he will.
You heading up the petition to keep Mick last year wouldn't do you that well if you're trying to...
Last year?
Oh, whenever it was. The three of you, I know the
means.
three of you are instrumental in signing that petition. If
No,
you could just
I don't think I've
concede
signed
that,
it. The
that'd
footy
be
club's a contract.
fantastic for the show if you could concede
Wants
that.
to get a petition to get rid of you on this.
Swanee, Oldham and Crawford's been one of our most popular segments over the last couple of weeks, and you're up. Well, you're the prankster, not the prank. You're the prankee, not the prankster. Next week, but we did Jackson Ramsey. This was a fantastic because during. He didn't obviously know what was going on, but afterwards, after the prank, what happened?
Well, obviously, I think I don't want to give it away, but the joke does come unstuck, and they do realise that it's a joke. So Croft
Eventually.
Yeah, Croft at the very end. So Croft gets up off the floor or something where he falls down, like you've probably seen, and you know, previously he's tried to take a lot of pills, so he's gotten a lot of pills, and Jacko's like trying to hide them from him and stuff like that. But eventually Croft gets up and tries to give the joke away, like, you know, he's Shane Crawford,
Hero.
and he runs around and starts like trying to take Specky's on the couch, and he's like hopping over the couches and running and literally running around. So I don't know, he's meant to be 60, 70 there.
Yep.
He's literally running around, jumping over the couches, and Jacko's still in shot, looking at me and goes, "Oh my gosh, she's off her tits."
The penny didn't drop
I
yet.
was thinking that all the pills she's taken is making her jump over the couch and run around.
That was
I
the end of
mate, come on. And then Billy had to run in as the school kid, and then obviously it was good. The joke was up, but you know, Jack's a very polite young kid and did everything. So he was probably a good one to get because you know, he's very polite and a lot nicer than the rest of us. So
We
he
can't
did
wait
really
for that.
well.
You're going to see it in full next week.
Yeah, well,
I
I'm about to
believe.
say, make sure you watch it in full next week. Everything Swanee just said
Spoiler.
happens.
Spoiler alert.
We are getting to a break. Jordan Lewis
you
isn't far
asking?
away. Damien Barrett with a very big story on the Hawthorn Footy Club. Still Welcome back to the Footy Show. Thanks to Nissan, of course. Home Timber and Hardware, go where the tradings go. And sportsbet.com.au. Download the mobile app today. Soon we speak to Jordan Lewis on the eve of his 250th game. But now to get us up to speed with everything that's happening in the world of footy, the best newsbreaker in the game, bar none. Make him welcome. Damien Barrett is here. Now, Footy Classified in flying form on a Monday, of course, and Matthew Lloyd, a big part of that show, was very strong on Monday night about the future of the captain of the Hawks, Luke Hodge.
Yeah, he was, Jim, and that future is very much up in the air. From a 2017 perspective, all talks around that future are in a holding pattern. Hodge does want to play on, but the problem he's got and the challenge he's got is convincing the footy club that going into a 16th AFL season, as 2017 would be, is going to be a challenge for him. He's currently sidelined with a knee complaint. He's going to be out for a couple of weeks yet. And what has emerged is that there's a very serious toll required of him just to simply get his body right to play each week. I've made a lot of calls to this situation, around this situation, throughout the course of the past few days, and including speaking with Stuart Fox, the Hawthorn Footy Club's CEO. And all Fox wanted to say was that no decision has been made on Hodge's future, and all that he and the club want to have happen now is for Hodge to get back onto the field in 2016 from that knee. He's one of 4 Hawthorn champions who are going to be having their futures decided in coming weeks when it's all said and done. Sean Burgoyne, Josh Gibson, Sam Mitchell are the other 3. Hodge is the youngest of those 4. He's going to be 32 by the time next season starts. But right now, he is under the most pressure to be kept on that Hawthorn list.
Damo, this is a delicate situation, and in a way, we went through it last year at Geelong and probably still going through it at the end of this year with Geelong, with those champions. How many will be in the Hawthorn side of those 4 players, do you think, next year?
It's the delicate balancing act that Alistair Clarkson's got ahead of him. Look, strong talk is that definitely one will go, and in all likelihood 2 of those 4 will go. They're prepared to make the tough calls. When it's all said and done, Brian Lake was a tough call to make last year, as was David Hale. But of those 4 players going around, that the youngest, and strange enough, that the captain of the club is the one who right now is most vulnerable when it comes to who actually stays around for 2017. Jim, we'll move on to Josh Jenkins. We know the offers are coming in from literally everywhere for him, but the Crows have also now gone in hard themselves to retain him. They've offered a 4-year deal, and we believe the money attached to each of those 4 years is about $550,000 per each of those 4 years. There's more years and more money outside of that offer from the Crows, but that Crows offer is a very competitive one, given that it is a retention offer. Jenkins has attracted the interest of many clubs, as we said. Richmond is one of those clubs who has put its toe in the water on that race. Interestingly enough, Tyrone Vickery, free agent, yet to have a contract offer put to him to stay at the Tigers in 2017 and beyond. That situation will get clarity in coming weeks. Management and clubs set to speak about his future very soon. And just before I go, Brisbane midfielder Dane Beams in Melbourne today to have surgery on a knee, as he tells here to Mitch Cleary that he's all but conceded 2016 is over.
Disappointed that I obviously can't be out there playing footy, but a bit relieved that hopefully we can get sorted out and move forward.
Do you think this could be the end of your season as a result of this surgery?
Unsure at this stage, so I'll know a bit more over the next couple of days, but 14 weeks left, yeah, I'll be pushing it.
How disappointing with everything the club's going through that you're not out in the park fighting with the boys?
Oh, it's hard to watch. You'd obviously like to be out there contributing, but it is what it is. I just got to be able to still contribute outside of playing footy around the club, helping young guys out. So that's what I'll be doing for the rest of the season.
Dane Beams, very good from Damien Barrett. The hardest thing you can do as a footy club is retire your champions. You need to be very, very delicate, and Luke Hodge is a champion, so we'll watch that space with great interest. Bill?
Dane Beams, is he part of the Rat Pack?
No. Yeah, close enough.
It's either in or he's out.
Just close enough.
Yeah.
Speaking of Damien Barrett and news, Jim, I want you to have a look at this. Jake Nile, the Claw. Have a look at him here. He now works for Fox Sports News, and have a look at the Claw as he's talking along here. There he goes there, and there it is there, Jakey Nile. He's just got the claw while he goes along.
Holding an imaginary tennis ball. What's he holding?
He's got a frothy or something. It's an imaginary one or whatever, but it's... I hope he's got nothing really wrong. But, that wouldn't be
Let's
funny.
not pay out people on
No,
live
exactly,
TV, shall
yeah.
we? No, it's not.
Speaking of stars of the Hawthorn Football Club, this man's a best and fairest winner, an All-Australian and a 4-time premiership player. He will celebrate his 250th game for this mighty football club when they take on Brisbane. On the weekend, he's been good enough on a link from home to join us. Put your hands together for Jordan Lewis of the Hawks. Jordy, welcome, mate. It's been a great journey for you. When you came up from Warrnambool and first played for the Hawks, would you have ever dreamt that all these years later you'd be a 4-time premiership player and have had the career you've had?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jim. No, you don't. I mean, you dream of playing one AFL game, but certainly being involved in the success that we've had over the recent years and notching up 250 games, it certainly creeps up on you. I mean, as an AFL player, you get into a certain routine and one day becomes the next and then it just flows on. So to look back on a career and reach 250 games, you've been quite proud.
No, indeed, Jordo. Well done, mate. It's a fantastic effort. And premierships, you've done it all, of course. Just watching you here now, kick some lovely goals. How are the old legs, Jordo? Because we just saw last Friday
they're feeling
night.
good, Bill. yeah, here we go. I had a word to Bud as soon as the game finished. He came down to the beach for the weekend, and I think he had a sneaky look at me and just saw that it was no contest and put the ball in space, and the race was over before it began.
Here it is here. We'll watch it again just for you. There you are there, trying to chase poor old Gary Rowan. You said, stuff that, that's too hard. And Buddy
It's like
did.
a nightmare, isn't it?
Sorry about that.
Hey, Geordie, we've always loved the way you've gone about it, and I've also loved the fact that you've been very happy to engage the opposition with on-field banter.
Yes.
We saw this one from you to Heath Grundy on the weekend, just the four fingers up to just, oh, there we are, going back with the flight, but there, which was great. There's just the 4 premierships for Heath. Tell us a bit about that.
No, that was 4 minutes left in the game.
Oh!
They were 13 points up, and I just said there was still a little bit of time to go, so don't be too comfortable.
Jordan, you've been involved in some really big clashes over your career. You've been on the end of them, and you've also dished out plenty in your 250 games. How's your body holding up, and have you got any memorable moments for some of those big hits?
Yeah, there's one certain one that I can't really remember too much, but the body's really good. I mean, I look at vision from early days, especially 2005, 2006. I was quite porky, so I had to drop a little bit of weight, and certainly now I feel a lot better running around, and the collisions are maybe as hard, but certainly you recover a lot quicker than you used to.
Jordan, we had Damien Barrett on just a moment ago talking about the future of some of your stars, and specifically Luke Hodge. He's only played a handful of matches this year, 4 matches from memory. How important is he to your side? Do you think he can get back into the side and be back to his best?
Oh, I've got no doubt that he can. I mean, if anyone who knows Hodge knows he's a really proud man. So I think it's unfair commentary to pot a bloke who's out and can't actually answer the critics by playing really good football, and he's certainly getting his body in shape and doing the work that he needs to do, and I'm sure when he comes back, a few people will eat their own words.
Peter?
Jordan, Heath Shaw here. Congratulations on your 250 games. What's the most goals you've kicked in a game in those 250?
I'm glad you brought that up, actually, Heath. I was tasked to... I like to call accountability on you one game, and 5 sausage rolls, and I haven't got close since.
Yeah. Hey, 5 on you.
Geordie, I love that, 5 on you, Heath, and you brought it up against yourself, which is very magnanimous. Hey, Geordie, I know you're a great mate of Jared Ruffhead, in fact, probably his closest mate at the club, and Am I right in saying that Ruffy wanted to come up and actually room with you and be there for your 250th game in Brisbane?
Yeah, he put me in a really tricky position, Jim. I've gone through this year by sleeping by myself, and obviously having the new child, it's nice to get into a room where there's literally no noise except the TV. So he came to me yesterday and said he wanted to come up. I said, that's fine, we can sleep in separate bedrooms and everything will be okay. And he said, no, we're in the same room. I said, oh, well, that's fair with me. And so he's coming up, we're rooming together, and he wouldn't miss it for the world.
Oh, that's brilliant. How's he going, by the way?
Yeah, he's going really well. He had the biopsy on Monday and got the test results, I think, today. So he'll chat to the doctors and see what course of action is needed from there.
All right, brilliant. Stay with us, Geordie, because we need to take a look at this game. Your 250th, you take on the Brisbane Lions, as I said, at the Gabba on Saturday. And the Lions have battled over the last month, it's fair to say. And they've also lost their last 6 against the Hawks, as you can see. Just the one change. Cutler comes in for Evans, who has been omitted. As we take a look at the Hawks, lots of question marks as to how Hawthorn are travelling, but they still, the win-loss ratio looks pretty good. They're 7th on the ladder, 6 wins and 3 losses. Spanger comes in and Brand comes out for the Hawks. Bill?
Yeah, Brisbane under the pump, aren't they? Especially Justin Leppich. They really need a good game up there at the Gabba, but they think they'll get it. The Hawks will win this one and win it easy.
Yeah, it's tough to make a case for Brisbane. Home ground's probably the only one, but I don't think that'll be enough Hawks for me.
Yeah, I think the Hawks is obviously Jordan's 250th on our sides. Get up for milestone games, Sammy. So I think the Hawks will be too good.
Yeah, Hawks at $1.11, pretty unbackable favourites, but if you want to put some money on them, I reckon they'll get over the line.
Bet responsibly.
Bet responsibly.
Yeah.
Samuel?
As Jordan and Dane would know, there is no such thing as milestone games.
Well, when you've got a champion in your club and also sort of, the heart and soul of the place force, I can imagine that the Hawks will rally behind Geordie.
As I was saying, there is no such thing as milestone games, but Jordan, this will be by default a milestone game because Hawthorn will win.
I think we all agree on this one. Hawthorn for me as well.
Jordo, I assume you'll pick the Hawks on your 250th, but we found this old ad. It's down in Warrnambool and you're doing it for a car yard down in Warrnambool. We'll have a look at it.
Hello, I'm Jordan Lewis and welcome to Southwest Motor Group. A stylish new Mazda. The largest range of used cars in town, and the best auto technicians are here. Kick a goal with the real team at Southwest Motor Group.
Magnificent, Jordo.
That's shocking vision. Have you seen the new Audi ad?
No, you got an Audi, have we? Nissan Audi it'd be, yeah.
Hey, Geordie, before we say goodbye, asking a lot of the Hawthorn boys about yourself since you first arrived at the club to the version we see today, they say never has there been an example of a man change more before he got married to after he got married. Are you fessing up to this?
I can't argue with you there, Jim. There's still that country element, there's no doubt about that, but I've transformed into a bit of a city kid.
When's the last time you have been back to Warrnambool?
Christmas, Bill.
That was a long time ago, Jordo. He likes to go the other side now, I think, and just hang around the city.
He does that, Bill, and also, as I understand it, Geordie, absolutely do as you're told all the time. Is that factual?
Absolutely, you should know.
I'm going to get you out of trouble now.
Probably not.
Jordan Lewis, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Best of luck on the weekend, and also can you do us a favour and give Ruffy a big cuddle and kiss from us as well here at the Footy
Will do.
Show.
Thanks for having me.
Good on you, Jordan.
Thank you very much. Very nice of Jordan to come on the Footy Show tonight. Boys, he mentioned his little sledge on the weekend with the 4 fingers that he held up, which reminds me, I actually haven't had any great sledges on the netball court, but I'm sure you guys have given some and been on the receiving end of some. Daisy, any that you can recall that you can tell us on live TV?
I've heard a couple of OK ones that probably can't be repeated, but most of the sledging that went on in our team was between Heath and Nick Maxwell. And they used to go back and forth at each other. They didn't worry too much about the opposition, those two.
Swanee?
Yeah, one that I couldn't repeat on TV. Probably the funniest one I heard was someone called Ben Johnson a baked bean head. So I got a good laugh out of that, but I thought that was funny. So, yeah.
Yeah, one Daisy one was pretty funny. He was getting tagged by one of the Selwood brothers, and he was obviously giving him a little bit of a bath, and he said, "It's all good, mate. One of yous had to be the worst brother."
I want to know, does it actually put you off, though, or do you not worry about it? Does it put you off, or does it get in your head?
I guess it depends who you are, I guess. I guess it would get into some people's head, but doesn't
Not
get
these
into
ones.
mine.
Not those.
No.
Of course not.
I actually had one. What about one day I thought I was going to get a free kick and went out in the full, so I got the ball and the boundary umpire said, no, it went over the boundary line. I said, ball, mate, give us a kick. He said, actually, I would have seen it, except your fat ass got in the road. That's from the boundary umpire, if you don't mind.
Like it, Bill, he knew you well.
And then I said, yeah, all right, there's the ball, mate. Throw her in.
All right, plenty more sledging to come on the Footy Show. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere.
It's been a big week for GWS. Today, their head of footy, Graham Allen, did declare that he was confident that the team could win his flag as early as its 4th season in the competition. When do you win a premiership?
2015, 2016.
That's everything you're doing now is aimed at that year?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And are you confident of that being the outcome? Very confident of a premiership in 2015?
No, 15 or 16.
How smug is that, bozo?
There's a big sound from the west of the town. A landmark victory from the GWS Giants. And it's quite frightening for the rest of the competition.
W. Allen, of course, head of footy at GWS back in 2011, saying that they were going to win it in 15 or 16. And a lot of people were equal to you, Force, of the opinion that he was talking out of some other orifice. But they have been unbelievably good, Heater, and you're playing at the club, of course. Teams can come together very quickly. Did you see this form coming in the pre-season of this year?
I think, like, the natural progression since I've been there, I knew we were going to improve each year. The way we've started the year this year has even surprised me a little bit, but I suppose all the hard work you do in previous years to try and get this young group up to a standard of AFL and be consistent week in, week out is paying off, and we're playing some pretty good football, and we're confident, so that always helps.
Heath, when you are a young side like this and you're playing great football, comes question marks about the end of the year. So finals and grand final, people are saying, as he did there, that you could make it into the grand final. The only criticism about your side from people is that, is there going to be enough experience? But when you look at your list, you've got Stevie J, who's got 3 grand finals under his belt. You've got 1. Mummy's got 1 as well. So when you look at the side, there is actually finals and grand finals experience. Do you think you'll be have stage fright in September?
I don't think so. Hopefully we get there. It's a long way to go. We were 7-3 this week, the same time last year, and we end up missing the finals. So we've got to win enough games to get in there, but who knows what could happen. We're confident, and we're very driven to play finals this year, and we've knocked off a few pretty good teams this year. So I think that's why people are paying a bit more attention to us.
So, Heater, is this the most talented team you've played in? Like, pound for pound? Forget about age or anything else, just pure footy talent.
Wouldn't have thought,
yeah, I think, well, 2010 we were very young and we won a premiership that year. It was a very young side. I think this side is probably more talented. Obviously got drafted pretty highly, and over the last few years have developed into pretty good players. So I think this is the most talented team I've played with, but they work extremely hard at what they do, and there's a quiet confidence about them.
Could you confirm, Peter, that you signed a petition to get rid of Leon Cameron?
Come on.
Could you confirm or deny that?
Get rid of Leon?
Yeah, the coach.
No, he's going all right. He let me fly down to Melbourne this week. He gave me a couple of days off, so keep him on for a couple more years, maybe.
Sunday night's a big game. Adelaide take on the Crows at Adelaide Oval. The 2 highest scoring sides so far this year. No change of the Crows. They're very happy there. no change at all. And a couple of changes at the Giants. Tomlinson comes in and Jack Steele. Good name, that, Jack Steele. He comes in. Moore and Buntine go out. And this will be a beauty. I'm looking forward to this game. The rucks will be great. Tex Walker is back in town for the Crows, kick 5. And I am going for the Crows at home.
Yeah, terrific to see Jack Steele in, as you mentioned, Bill. Obviously, he'll provide a lot to the GWS lineup. I think that Heath is quietly confident in how far they are going to go this year. He's pretty much declared it behind these walls here. So I'm going to tip them and they're going to keep going. Yeah, they're all the way.
Yeah, great to see Paul Seaman, another ex-Pie, going really well. For the Crows, and after what Heath just said, I'm going for Adelaide.
Who do you get, Peter? Will you get someone come to you, do you think, defensive forward?
He'll go to Eddie Betts.
Or will you go to Eddie Betts?
I've played on Eddie the past few years, and they usually Leon likes to put his best defender on their best small forward, so I'm probably the best defender. So there's a big chance I'll play on Betts, but if I had the choice, I wouldn't want to play on him. So we'll leave it up to the coaches.
Right. Samuel?
We owe Gabriel and I do a bit of an apology for saying he was smug. He's going to be spot on. Yep. They'll probably almost win the thing this year.
Scary good, the GWS
Scary
Giants.
good. Yep. Got winners on every line, which is extraordinarily important.
It is.
And I think they'll probably beat the Crows in Adelaide.
The Crows because it's at home, but just.
Yeah, same from Beck. Now, Leon Cameron is the coach of the Giants, we know that. Lockie Hunter just kicks a goal here for the Western Bulldogs. And Channel 7's Basil Zemplis has an interesting question for the Giants coach.
Leon Cameron, coach of the Western Bulldogs. He joined Lee pre-game and he can join us now. Well, that's a good settler for you, Leon.
Oh, not for us.
Baz
goes all right.
Well,
Baz
Leon used to play for the Doggies.
It was a bit, lots going on.
Don't worry. As a commentator, Willis, we've all done that.
I don't know if I've ever made a
Your heart
mistake.
just sinks as soon as you say it. He's a good act, Baz. Hey, Daisy, let's get to you. We're going to have a look at the Carlton-Geelong game in just a second, but a lot of criticism aimed your way over the last couple of years that you weren't in the right condition and weren't able to fulfil what's a pretty good contract to play at the Carlton Footy Club. You've answered it emphatically this year. Your form over the last 6 weeks has been great.
Yeah, well, firstly, thank you. No, look, I always thought it was just a case of getting my body right, as you said, and stringing some games together. Obviously, when you have sort of back-to-back injuries, you aren't able to do that, and the critics do come, and you don't have really a way to answer them other than front up in media time. You sort of look like you're defending yourself without anything behind it. So to get out on the park, to contribute in what's been an OK start to the year for our footy clubs, been pleasing on a personal level, but to see the growth that the group's had in such a small time has been really impressive too, I think.
Daisy, when Mick left or was shown the door, did that take a personal toll on you? Because we know that you were close with Mick. Did you think...
signed the petition to get rid of it.
Did you think, oh, God, what now? How are we going to recover from this? What does this mean for me?
Not really. There was an aspect of it, I guess, as a friend. You're sort of disappointed for the bloke. But, you know, I had to go up and play the next week. So for me, it was about, preparing as usual. Footy clubs are funny in that sense that, one door literally closes, another one opens, and you move on to the next week. So for me, it was as bitterly disappointed as I was that Mick wasn't going to coach out the rest of the season and have a chance to sort of prove his critics wrong. I moved on pretty quickly.
So, Daisy, we could tell the first game you played against the Tigers to start the season, behind the footy, the Blues were set up really well. There was a discipline about the way you defended the ground. Brendan Bolton seems to have made a big impact.
He certainly has, and as you say, watching the games, I watched that first game as well, and obviously not playing, and was really impressed with the steps we'd taken over the pre-season. We'd put in a lot of hard work as most clubs, but then to get some reward for that in 4 wins in a row was really pleasing for our young group.
Well, Bolts has got that side absolutely firing. Let's have a look at the game this weekend. It is Carlton up against the Catters on Sunday at Etihad. These are obviously only squads. In comes Casbolt and Cruiser, so 2 big ins for the Blues. For Geelong, if we have a look at the Cats, out goes Menzel with a bit of soreness. Go Catters. In comes Lonigan, Kolajasny and Billy Smeds, perhaps, who hasn't played a senior game this year. This match will be the Cats' first game at Etihad this season. The Blues have lost their last 7 against the Cats and have never beaten them at Etihad. Can the Cats bounce back, Bill?
Well, you'd hope so. You'd want a response after last week.
You would,
Some
wouldn't
disappointed Geelong fans out there. We would, but is Cruiser and Casbolt going to play? One had a broken leg and the other one had an ACL 2 weeks ago, and they've both been named.
They've both been given a chance. So Casbolt had another scan, a different scan, and it showed that it wasn't a crack as was first thought. So he'll have a test this week, and Matty Cruiser did have a little op, but he's pulled up miraculously well, so he will also be a chance to play somehow.
Good news for Blues fans, Swanee.
Oh, that's fantastic. Absolutely. So I would have thought there'd be a couple of journos that would probably need to apologise to Dale after the way they spoke about him early in the pre-season, but we know that's never going to happen. But as for the game, I guess if Gorringe can keep kicking a goal or two for Carlton a week, it'll get them close. But I think the
Gorringe.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think the Cats might just get over the line.
Yeah, looking forward to the sort of the midfield battle. Young Cripps versus an oldish Joel Selwood and Dangerfield. So I reckon Geelong will win.
28 today, Joel Selwood. Today, 28.
Pretty old.
You just get over the line, you reckon, Dane, do you, Geelong?
Well, they did come up against the powerhouse last week in the Pies, so...
Yeah, that's right.
Do you reckon they'll be flat
So
after
I
that?
tipped
Well, they got
Collingwood
within
last
4 goals of us, so that's a pretty good effort for a good playing us. So
turn it up, Geelong. Now, why did you cut your hair? Did someone ask you to cut your hair when you got to Carlton? No, not you.
Oh.
Him.
I did it a few years before I got to Carlton. I did it for charity.
Why did you?
So
What?
For charity.
Is that why?
Yeah, I shaved it off for...
That stuffed you?
No. Daisy, have you considered growing that back? Because my mum, I told her you were on the show tonight, she actually loves you and she used to like your old hair.
Yeah, well, my nana was sort of the same path, and
Was
I
she?
cut it off and pretty much didn't have a kick. So
Devastated.
I started growing it back at the start of the year, and then I pretty much missed my foot a couple of times and got suspended, so I lopped it off again.
Samuel?
Oh, no, Geelong easily. I mean, easily.
Geelong will bounce back after that performance on Saturday.
It is your great mate Joel Selwood's birthday today, Bill.
It is.
And he said, can you please show that plane ad, because he loves it.
Come on. We need...
Why, Joel? Why?
To get to a break,
good
there is
round.
lots still to come on the Footy Show. Street Talk from Bendigo. Ain't too far away.
Still to come, all the good citizens of Bendigo are up for a chat in Street Talk by invitation.
Welcome to Sam's Street Talk.
From Bendigo, where the Marilyn Monroe exhibition is now in train.
In train, that's right.
Yours truly will review all the footage in Almost Footy Legends.
He looks somehow like inbred with a tomato.
Good one, Peanut. And without further ado, Big Sammy will take to the stage to serenade the masses. Don't worry, he'll have plenty left over for a quick roasting in What the Boss. Give it up one more time for the Rat Pack. I said give it up, Tiger. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Footy Show, Almost Footy Legends time. I've got the Rat Pack here, and Heater, kick us away.
Yeah, first off, we've got Murray Bushrangers versus the Dandenong Stingrays. Back with the flight here.
Oh!
Courageous stuff. Last time I did that, I ended up in hospital for about 4 weeks.
Yeah, that is courageous.
Sorry, Andrew.
All right. Go, Swanee.
Yep, I've got number 2. We've got Bannockburn versus Anarchy. Got to slow that down for me. He's kicked the goal in straight in the netball ring.
So 2 goals.
Thank you, Gad.
That is a goal and not for the
7 points for that, I think.
And I've got Sturt v Woodbull. Jordan with a huge hanger. Have a look at this one.
Have a look, he gets a double ride.
Oi.
That is unbelievable. All right, we're going to go to the crowd on this one. Who like number 1, the Courageous? Not bad. Number 2, the 2 goals. Or the hanger, number 3. No, congratulations, number 2. Danelle, you've won this.
Thanks to Sportsbet, our weekly winner takes home $1,000 cash, while our runners-up get $500 each. Get involved this AFL season and make it a multi with Sportsbet. Thanks to Home Timber and Hardware, our major winner receives $5,000 in gift cards and a toolbox full of $45,000 in cold hard cash. That's a $50,000 prize. How's that to help you go hard towards the renovation you've always wanted? So to put the hard back into hardware, go where the tradies go. Home Timber and Hardware.
Nicely done, Willis. These are big prizes. GPO Box 9, Melbourne, Victoria 3001. Or go to 9now.com.au/footy show. Take your video camera, take your iPhone down to the local footy, record it all, send it in, Bill, and you could be a part of the biggest prizes in football, bar none.
They are magnificent. You just saw them there, so why wouldn't you do that?
A chariot, cash, everything.
If you're sitting at home right now watching this and thinking, I might go to bed, we shouldn't because there's plenty to come. But you've got to send this in.
Oh, Willis, exactly, right now.
Man.
You've got to sing. When are you going to sing?
Hey, I mightn't do it yet.
You come on, Foss.
Shut up.
Come on.
Come on, Fossil.
If you ask me nicely, Beck, I will.
In the commercial break, he's just been doing the little scales.
He's been rehearsing during the break, so that's coming up. So is Street Talk, of course, from Bendigo, so don't go anywhere now. Melbourne take on Port Adelaide. Alice Springs is the venue. The Demons are only out of the 8 on percentage and have been very, very good. Mitchie and Oliver out. Tyson and Jed are in. Staggering Brayshaw can't get into this team with his family's talent. As we move on to Port Adelaide, Bill, shut up. And they need to win this game badly. Jonas, a big break for him, of course. Howard comes in to replace that man. Pretty good record, the D's. The centre of Australia, Bill, they like going up there. They're making it part of their home territory. What do you think's going to happen?
Well, you'd think Melbourne. I like the way they go about it because I'll tell you why. I've got a fact stat here. Melbourne is the only side to kick more goals than behinds in every and each game this year. So they kick more goals than behinds.
Just every game it covers.
Yeah, they do it, yeah.
They don't have to say
so
every
that's
or each.
why they'll win. Days, do you like that fat stat?
Yeah, that's brilliant,
Do you
mate.
understand it?
Not really, but that'll be good enough for me. I'll have the D's on that.
Yeah, Melbourne going really well, and it's good to see another former Pie, Ben Kennedy, getting to go and playing some good footy. So on that, I'll go Melbourne.
Swanee, outside of players you've played with that have gone to other clubs, are you doing any research into any of these games at all?
Mate, I've been injured, so I haven't watched a lot of footy these days.
You're supposed to watch when you're injured.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been doing heaps of it.
We're enjoying it. Heater?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Melbourne. Old mate. Tom Bugg's playing pretty well there from the Giants, so hopefully they get the win.
Sam?
Melbourne out of their comfort zone, Jim, up in Arnhem Land. Where is Traeger?
Alice Springs.
Arnhem Land, isn't
Yeah, no, it isn't.
Has anyone from Melbourne, from the Melbourne establishment, ever been to Arnhem Land?
Well, it's not Arnhem Land, it's Alice Springs, and they play very good football. They've got a good
Where's
record.
Arnhem Land?
Well, that's a lot
higher.
higher up. That's up near Darwin.
Oh, bullshit.
It is.
Yeah, just whatever you think's going to happen here.
Well, probably Melbourne would win, I think, up there.
I reckon this is a really tough one.
Yeah, good. Cheers.
Jeremy?
Yep.
I just don't know. I'm going to have to say something, aren't I?
Yes.
Melbourne.
Don't know if you saw during the week, boys. Now, you boys wouldn't be happy with this. Remember the old footy cards? Well, trading cards have been banned at some Melbourne schools. Have a look at this. It promotes gambling, they're saying here.
What?
Yes.
They're cards. They're pieces of
Exactly.
cardboard.
Kids take them along, they have a bit of fun, but they've been banned at some schools.
No.
So we got some old footy or trading cards here.
Yes.
And do we ban them or do we keep them? Okay,
Righto.
Jimmy boy?
Let's go.
This is Stephen Mount. Have a look at this. Looks like you with your stupid bloody smile. He's happy with himself. We're keeping Stephen Mount.
Yep.
Look at this flog here. Absolute flog.
Oi.
Jimmy
We're keeping
boy.
that. It's a piece of history.
No one's ever seen that. And your hobby on the back there says working. Your hobby is working. You are a flog, Jim. So we there he is. Old smack up there.
Yeah, there we are.
Hey, who's this bloke here, Sam? Look at Big Mick Nolan. We're banning that. He'd scare the
Great
kiddies.
respect, the galloping gasometer.
Yeah, the galloping
Oh, you got to keep this one.
Oh, yes.
Have a look at that. Brownless in full flight. You see that, boys? That's me.
Black and white photo.
Yeah, black and white, exactly. We're keeping that one.
You signed all over yourself.
We're going to ban this one, Lethal. Here's Lethal, of course. Looks like he's nearly going to fall asleep, doesn't it, there? Poor old Lethal.
Come on, Bill.
Oh, no. Oh, Lethal.
Send us in
Sam.
the footy cards you think should be retained, by the way,
Yes.
because there'll be thousands of them back over the journey.
Some good ones about the Fox.
I'd like to see some of your sharpest force, especially when you had that dyed hair and stupid moustache look back in the 70s. There must be 4 or 5 kicking around.
I've got a collage of
Have
mine.
you?
Someone sent me a frame. I had about 12 of them.
Beautiful. Let's bring them in. What about the large head version?
Yes.
The large head, no, there's a shocking era in the era that I played
Was
football
it?
in, as far as looks go.
Was
What
it?
do you mean a shocking year of looks?
A shocking era of looks
Of
with the
haircuts or
sideburns
just
and the
looks?
moustaches and the
Yep.
mullets.
You
And
played in 4 years, so...
What's that?
You played in 4 years, so...
I played in 3 decades.
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
3. 60s, 70s and 80s.
Oh, you got me.
Well, yeah,
All right.
that
Well,
was...
speaking of decades, you're going to take us back a few, Sam.
Come
Are you
on.
preparing for your song?
I'm
It's now. I actually want you to
Now?
go and... I want you to go...
Go and get ready for us.
All let Sam go and prepare. We're going to take the break. And on the Footy Show, we'll have a few more games, and then Sam is singing a classic.
Before she came on the scene.
Oh, welcome back. It's been a brilliant show so far with our Rat Pack and Sam Newman preparing to
Yes.
sing us a classic a little later on. Maybe he won't go through with it. Maybe he
Have
will.
a look at him.
Bill,
Yes.
let's get into the footy before we do that.
Big one Saturday night back at the G. It's the dream time at the G. It's Essendon, very Richmond. And the Bombers lost by 46 points of Eddie had last week. Mitch Brown. On your Mitchy boy. He kicked 4. In comes Crowley, Dempsey and Edwards. Out goes Polkinghorn, Redmond and McKenna. They are out for the Bombers. Take on the mighty Tigers. They had a good win last week over Fremantle. And David Ashby's in. Good on you, Dave. Ellis and Rioli comes back straight into the side. Out Chaplin and Menadue and Short. So very interesting game. Big game. Always a big game, this one. But you'd think the Tigers, Days, would win this one.
It's good to see Trent Cotchin back in really good
Yes,
form as well.
exactly.
Come under a fair bit of criticism early in the year for how he's leading the side. So good to see him last week. Career high
Absolutely.
possessions and
Helmet.
helmet on. Helmets are good for winning.
Helmets
Just ask
are,
Murph.
aren't
So
they?
yeah, if he wears the helmet, they win.
Swanee, your tip?
Yep, Dustin Martin, probably the best don't argue in the game, and I think he'll use that to his advantage. The Tigers' advantage Saturday night, and they'll win.
Yeah, it's a great game. Dream time at the G is always a big spectacle. I think the Tigers will get over the line.
Yeah, I think the Tigers for me, and as the boys mentioned, it is Dream Time at the G, which is a spectacular event, and it starts with the Long Walk event. Now, We Walk Together is the theme for the Long Walk this year. It starts at Federation Square from 12 noon, obviously this Saturday. Now, you can enjoy the free concert from 2 p.m, then join Michael Long and more than 15,000 people will be walking to the G from 4:30 for the Dream Time at the G, blockbuster between Essendon and Richmond, obviously. Now, on ground, the good news is on-ground packages are still available. For more information, you can head to thelongwalk.com.au. I think those guys will be participating in the Long Walk. And all the clubs, I just want to mention, will be wearing those fabulous Indigenous jumpers. And all of those jumpers have been beautifully designed, and there's some lovely stories behind those designs as well.
Okay.
So have a look at your club's jumper and read a little bit about it if it takes your fancy.
And get online and buy them too. I think
Absolutely.
they're available at all the club shops, and they are absolutely brilliant. 12 years, the Dream Time of the G Games. It's a long time, isn't it? It's a great initiative. Well done, both of the clubs. Moving on, yes, absolutely.
No thanks.
St Kilda and Freo, Etihad Stadium, Saturday night. The Saints over the Bombers Mariners last week by 46 points. Webster and Billings out injured, which is a shame. Very good young player, Jackie Billings. Murdoch and Sinclair come in, and Nick Revolt, just released up the field, has been absolutely sensational. We have a look at the Fremantle Dockers. Winless so far in 2016, which is absolutely staggering, given that they were the home and away team on top of the ladder at the end of the year. There's the ins. Barlow back in is a good thing. Sutcliffe, Hill, DeVore and Collins. Any love for Freo at all? Heater, I might start with you. What do you think?
No, I can't see Fremantle winning, coming over with plenty of changes each week to every team. Can't get sort of a group together, so no.
Swanee?
Yeah, wouldn't have thought with a couple of key players out that they're going to do any damage over here.
Very similar. Tough with the travel. The Saints are going okay as well, so I think they'll be too good.
Yeah, no, and Eddie had too. St Kilda play Eddie had very well. Good luck to Sam Collins, first game.
Yep.
Always a big occasion, so good luck to him, but Saints easy.
Can't see Freo getting on the board this week either, Saints, for me.
Well, the new three-pronged forward set-up too for the Saints. Membry, Bruce, and old Flossie McCartan.
Old gap in the choppers, McCartan. He's looking good. He's
very good.
Very good, Paddy. Good boy. Keep it up.
And going well off the field too, Bill.
I don't know. I haven't heard lately what's going on there, but
well,
I think he's going okay.
Mars matchups, let's have a look at them. Might be a bit close to home for Bill, that one. As Luke Parker and Jack Zeeble. Most disposals, Bill?
Oh, sorry, Jim. I was going to punch in there. Yes.
Nick Revolt and Matty Pavlich.
Most goals, Jim.
Brody Smith and the Heater.
Oh, the Heater. Oh, if he kicks out from full back, he'll get the most kicks.
They, of course, set the record last week. And Daisy and Cameron Guthrie.
Oh, well. Did you tackle Daisy?
Shoulder, so no.
We saw the Saints world record and you and the Foss, of course, last week.
Had a crack with the
I'll
golf.
tell you who won't be in the world record.
Before we do that, Bill, we forgot last week to thank the Southern Golf Club, who are absolutely brilliant, allowing us to have access to the par 5 for about 25 to 30 minutes. So to everyone out at the Southern Golf Club, thank you very much.
What are you doing
Why did you just send me over there with
you're about to
12
go.
minutes to
Sorry,
go?
Bill, keep going.
No, but yeah, we saw that world record last week attempt. I'll tell you who won't be in it.
Who?
Him. Have a look at this. Dane Swan when he was with the Foss. Look at this.
Oh.
I don't reckon you're a left-hander. I reckon you're actually a right-hander.
Well, I can't get any worse there. No, it's the first and only time I've ever played golf, and it's never going to happen again, I wouldn't have thought, unless I'm doing it for this footy show. So it's about as good. I think I hit the ball once or twice, so golf's not for me, mate.
That's when you had to spend time with the Foss.
He drove the Lambo out.
Yeah, well, that was a good part of the day, driving the Lambo.
Force.
All righto.
Get up, but you need to listen to these are the rules.
Yes.
We're going to send the boys over. They're going to be a nice little audience for you. If this is as horrific as we think it's going to be, we're throwing to an ad break.
Yes.
You listen to me.
Come on, Jim.
If I can't hear the audio or I stuff it up, we're going to do it until I do it properly. So don't worry about that.
I don't know about you guys. I've actually been looking forward to this. He's been rehearsing intensely all week. He's been doing his warm-up chords over here. The boys are just moving up. You're not looking forward to this,
You're looking forward to it because you haven't seen him do it before. We've had to put up with it for 11 years. All right, where are we?
That's true.
You
I
get
think
your
we're
best,
getting settled.
Your best intro ready?
All right, are we ready? I think Sam's just in front of the microphone and ready to woo us.
Yes.
Beck's
going to introduce you. Shut up.
Stand by. This is Sam Newman with a classic, Until the Real Thing Comes Along.
Welcome back to the Footy Show. Hey, what about the big enforcer? Give it up for Sam Newman. Magnificent. Oh, yes, please. I especially liked halfway through when you broke into talking. That was my favourite
Well,
bit.
that was when the riff was on, Jim, and then that is the instrumental.
I thought it was
I
excellent.
loved it.
Yeah, no, thank you, Beck.
Very good.
Excellent.
Hey, we need to recognise some special people in the crowd. This is the Australian women's volleyball team, everybody. Put your hands together.
In the green and gold.
Including the beautiful lady with the blonde sort of bun, the female bun in her hair, is Shay Sloan, Rory Sloan's sister. Very nice to see Shay here. Rawser, of course, dominates for the Adelaide Crows, but has a much more talented member of the family. Good luck, girls. I know you're going overseas to represent us. Do us proud.
Thank you very much. Thank you. How about the Swanee family? A little bit of talent there, sporting prowess there. Let's get to this game on Sunday. It is the West Coast Eagles up against Gold Coast. Let's have a look at the outs for West Coast. Elliot Yeovil, he's out with a quad. And in comes Cole, perhaps, and Lewis Jetta, a couple of big ins. Hopefully Tom Cole gets a game this week. He was unlucky last week, missed out. Had the whole family that missed out, so hopefully he gets to go. Taking a look at the Gold Coast Suns.
Gee whiz.
Still on Sunday, obviously only the squads, but we've got a couple of big ins, and the big one there you'll notice is G. Ablett. Yeah. So it'll be very welcome news for the Suns to have G. Ablett back in the side. Also May and Aaron Hall. Under a bit of pressure, the Suns, West Coast sitting 6th on the ladder, Bill. What do you reckon will happen?
Suns have never... No. They won't.
Toughest road trip in footy all the way from Gold Coast to Perth, so West Coast are starting to hit their straps, and I think they'll be winning this one comfortably. Can't argue with that.
Yeah, West Coast all day.
Now, I don't want to defend the Suns, but if you're only as strong as your weakest link, they had 21 players unavailable last week through injury. So give them a break.
Yeah. I think they said that their medical's going to have a bit of a shake-up during the week, so it's a department they've got to get right.
21 injuries in the list. That is extraordinary.
So you're picking West Coast?
I am.
Okay. So am I.
Quite a different way we're doing Street Talk this year. Sam's not going out every week as he has done in the past. What you've got to do is you've got to...
tired.
Exactly. Well, you've got to write in and apply for him to come... to come to your event, which is what the great people of Bendigo have done, because they have a Marilyn Monroe exhibition up there every year.
And that took his fancy.
I think he liked the thought of that, so he piled up there for a Street Talk. Enjoy.
Just dreaming about what life was like back in the day. Marilyn's gone, the Rat Pack's gone. Has football gone? Let's ask the wonderful folk in Bendigo. How are you going?
Sam Newman.
Yes, sir.
Bendigo.
Yeah, I'm in Bendigo.
Yeah, me too.
What about the statue down there?
Oh, Marilyn.
Marilyn. What do you think about Marilyn?
She's a beaut. Norma Jean, she's a beaut.
Norma Jean, well done, sir. Have you been down to see Marilyn?
Ah, that bullshit.
You're not into her?
No.
Pretty sexy, wasn't she?
Oh, to you? Yes, definitely.
You know, certainly to me, madam, yes. Oh, my word. You know who Marilyn is?
Wouldn't have a clue.
Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, no, yeah. The big statue, yeah. Norma Jean.
Norma Jean, that's right.
Yes.
And you know what she was famous for, don't you?
Being a hussy?
Yeah. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. Oh, yeah, Michael Tuck.
Yeah.
But he played over 300 games, and my God, how good have you got to be to play 300 games of AFL football?
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know anyone else that's played 300 games?
Nope.
No? The golden days of Hollywood gone. But what about the golden days of football? Do you remember it as it used to be, sir?
I'm with
miss
you.
it?
I do miss it, Sam. I'm with you. The 90s, where are the one-on-one contests? Gone.
Gone.
Blood.
Bit of blood?
Yeah. When they played it like they used to call it, a cut above the eye. And every time Teddy Williams Sr. would say, "Umpire, did you see him hit me?"
Let me see if I can think of one.
I know Drew Petree's played 300.
Yeah, 300. Got to be a very good player to play. Let me see if I can think of anyone else that's played 300 games. I know one.
Oh, go on, Teddy, get on with the game.
That is what's known in the industry as a close-up.
When are you going to go coaching?
I'm a bit busy, sir. On my life, I'm flat out. I'm working on Thursdays and...
Yeah, I know you do.
Just Thursdays. At some stage, you'll probably say who. I know one.
Yeah.
Moi. But, sir, it's good for her to be up here, the statue. It creates interest.
There's a water cup, really.
Some say copulation was Marilyn's uncomplicated way of saying thanks.
Oh, well, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you remember the Peter Moore?
Oh, my oath I do.
Yeah.
Now tell me, is he still alive, Sam?
Alive, sir. He's one of the world's best snow skiers. Did you know that?
Who is?
Peter Moore.
No, that's not him.
Peter Moore played for Melbourne and Collingwood, won a Brownlow medal, and is one of the all-time world's best snow skiers. That's a fact.
How come?
How come? Because he's practiced snow skiing, he's been overseas, he's represented countries. He is an excellent snow skier. So I know you think I'm putting you on, but I'm not. Have you been up in the snow yourself?
Yeah.
What?
I nearly freeze my balls off. I thought I snow. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday. Get off, then.
Just enough time for one of my favourite segments on the Footy Show. I'm laughing because it's not my favourite segment. What we do before, our studio audience comes in every week. We get them to write down the questions that they've always wanted to ask Sam. We go through those questions and the boys have got them in their hands, and that leads us to What the Foss time. Boys, you've got the questions in your hands. Who's got the first one?
Yeah, I've got the first one. It's from Order Eunice. And they've asked...
Hang on.
Where are you, Order Eunice?
Where are you?
There he is. Righto, stand up.
And he's asked, the Foss, have you ever been in love with anyone other than yourself?
Yes, I like it.
Well, it's not a bad question. I'm a pretty hard marker, of course. I was never into looks when I scored. I was, personality and all that old stuff, bullshit. But look, you can drift through life, or you can, try and... It's like the man answered a knock on the door, and there's a policeman there, and he had a picture. And he said to the bloke, is this your wife? And the bloke said, yeah, it is. And the copper said, well, it looks like she's been hit by a bus. And the bloke said, yeah, he said, but look, she's a great cook, and the kids love her.
Real inappropriate style there. Let's go to question 2, Swanee.
Yep. This one's from Rocky Racco.
Racco.
Foss, have you ever weaved your magic in the Lambo?
Oh. Have I had a...
Yes, that's what he means.
It's nigh on impossible, mate. I had a crack at it once when I was much more flexible, but it's just... it's a very small cockpit. Very small cockpit.
Yep.
But it's something different. It's like the bloke said to his... said, how is your sex life? He said, it's a bit boring. He said, when you get home, and now here you are, he said, why don't you turn your missus over? There's a whole new world on the other side. And he said, what, and risk getting her pregnant?
On that horrendous note, we're going to shut it down right there. Please thank the Rat Pack, if you don't mind. Heath Shaw, Dane Swan, Daisy Thomas, superstars. Bill Rattlers, well done. Force, great singing. Beck, you're a bloody star. Next week, if you don't mind, Tex Walker, Bernie Vince, Big Footy Show. We'll see you then.